Hello, everybody. Welcome to our fifth edition of Sit Down with the Boss. We have Miss Aiyisah Cake Mix Mills from the West Side. Would you like to introduce yourself and tell everybody who you are?
I'm Aiyisah Mills, aka Cake Mix, from Corpus Christi, Molina, the West Side.
And what was it like, Miss Mills, growing up on the west side of Corpus Christi, Texas?
Growing up on the West Side was good. A lot of family, friends, kickball in the street. Better be home before the street lights come on. Country grandma that always cooked and we always ate good, so it was good.
And that's another thing. I know you for a while, and one thing I do know is y'all have a well-known family. Everybody seems to love y'all. What is the way the city attaches to y'all family?
Through food, mostly. You know, my grandma was a cook, my great grandparents, everything was always based around cooking and gatherings. And my family always treated outside people like family, no matter what side of town or what city you was from, it was always family.
Yes, ma'am. Now, kids. Do you have any kids, and what's their names?
Yes, I have 4 kids. I have Porcelain, which is my oldest daughter, which I adopted as a teenager. I have Ashaya, which is my firstborn that I birthed. She's 22. I have Ayon, my 17-year-old senior, and then I have Anaya, which is my 16-year-old baby. And I also have grandkids. I have Araya, which is my daughter Shai's baby, and I have Jeremiah, which is my grandson from my daughter Porcelain, and I have a grandbaby on the way. I don't know what it is yet.
Nice family. Okay, now give us some of your best friends from back in the game, probably like the early '90s that you used to run with in the streets.
Amber Thomas. Amber's been my best friend since the 5th grade. Carrie Henderson back then, Rhonda Guidry. I used to hang with you back in the 90s.
Yeah.
Who else? Them was my main ones. Amber's sister April. I knew a lot of people, but I didn't hang with a whole bunch of people.
Yeah.
Monica Reynolds, we were her real tight back then. That's about it.
Okay, well, give us one of your West Side stories from when you was young that you can remember. When y'all telling stories that you always bring up.
Man, every time I think back when I was little, I always thought about getting picked on, getting beat up. When my grandma would get my hair pressed and it was long, and the little girls thought that I was thinking I was better than them, and they used to want to pull my hair when I walked down the street. The boys being mean to me because I was fat, they want to push me down and call me names, but that didn't ever make me stronger. So.
Already. And now, speaking of the kids, who was your first love?
Raynico Williams. Raynico Williams from like 7th grade up until he passed away almost 2 years ago. But that was my first love.
And what school did you attend in high school?
West Oso. Go Bears. No.
Do you have any good memories from West Oso?
A lot of them. A lot of them because I was involved in a lot of stuff. I've danced my whole life. I was on the drill team. I used to skip school to go eat because I like to eat. Football games, all that kind of stuff. I had a good childhood growing up as far as like, you know, being in things and doing stuff with my friends. I don't feel like I was missed out on anything.
Did you have a favorite teacher at West Oso?
A few of them, but if I had to choose one, it's this lady I had in 3rd grade, but she was my favorite, but I've always wondered about her, but she just, at that time when I was going through like being picked on and, you know, worried about my weight and just going through a lot of stuff, she was like the greatest teacher. Like she always made me feel good. She always looked out for me. So her name was Miss Polk.
Miss Polk.
Teresa Polk. That was a long time ago. But she's the one that sticks out.
Now, what do you say to like young ladies and young men that might be getting picked on because your energy is just over the roof? I know a person can't break your smile, so how can you teach them to be the way Aiyisah is?
I feel like that if nobody loves you, know that God loves you. And always fix yourself up. Always fix yourself up. I learned that I've always been a big girl my whole life since I was like 4. I've been a big girl. But I feel like if you look good, you feel good. You know, even when I'm going through whatever I'm going through, I always get up, try to, you know, do my hair or get my nails done to my feet. Because I can be big all day long, but you ain't gonna call me sloppy, you ain't gonna call me dirty. My clothes ain't gonna be raggedy. I don't care if they come from Walmart, Tours, Lane Bryant. Cake Mix is gonna fix herself up, and I'm gonna smell good. So love you. That's love you first.
Yes, sir. Now, one thing I do know, is you got a relationship with God. And I ask everybody this question: what is important about your relationship with God to you?
I've been through so much, especially in this last, like, a little over a year. God showed me that when there's nobody else there with me, He's there. There were so many times that I had to be in a hospital by myself due to COVID. I couldn't have visitors. I couldn't have nobody stay with me. I couldn't have nobody come. But I always felt the Spirit of God. And I've never really told too many people this story, but it was one particular time back in probably about this time last year. I was in a hospital. My mom was in the hospital at the same time. But they was giving me some medicine for nausea, but then they was also giving me pain medicine, but they was giving it to me along with my chemo. Mm-hmm. And I feel like I was losing my mind. Like I had a nervous breakdown. And it was my last day. I was getting ready to go home. But I just started screaming. I just started crying. Like I just wanted to give up. And this lady that I hadn't seen the whole time I was in the hospital, she was like a housekeeper. She came in my room. She said, "Baby, what's wrong?" And I just started screaming and crying to the top of my lungs. And this lady came and she grabbed me, like hugged me, and she just started praying with me and like rubbing me and telling me it was gonna be okay. And it's like this lady, just her energy, I just felt like it was God just hugging me. I never seen that lady no more, and I would go in the hospital once a month for a whole year, and I never seen this lady again. And I know all the other nurses, all the other workers, because I'm always on the same floor for the cancer patients. And that right there just, oh my God, like I know that was an angel or God sent her. And I just feel that from the bottom of my heart. So I have my times, my moments, but I know that God is with me through everything that me and my family have been through and that we're going through.
Yes, ma'am. Now, a lot of people might notice from your Facebook, every now and then, like you say, you go in and out the hospital. What can you explain to us about that?
Well, I had cancer back in 2013, 2014, and I went through chemo and I went into remission for like 5 years. When 2019, around like October, I started getting a pain in my right rib cage. And it was like a pain that I've never felt in my life. I didn't know if I was having a heart attack. I didn't know what was going on. So I called my mama to take me to the doctor. She took me to the doctor. They did an x-ray. They called me a few days later telling me that they found spots on my lung, on my right lung. So they sent me for a CAT scan. I went for the CAT scan where they found mass on both of my lungs. I have 4 on one side, 3 on the other. And the biggest one was the size of a lemon. So they told me, they did a biopsy where they had to go in like by my heart and take, flesh off of the tumor and test it, and it came back that I had cancer again. It had metastasized to my lungs. So they told me they was gonna do chemo. I would have to go in the hospital once a month for 4 to 5, 6, it just depends, days, and take the chemo. And then I come back home for 21 days, go back. So I've been doing that, and then in December, Christmas 2019, I got to where I couldn't breathe real bad. By the 27th, I couldn't even make it from my room to my bathroom. I called my mama, she got here, she was like, "Oh, it's gonna be all right." I said, "No." I called 911, then I ended up having blood clots in both of my lungs. That was caused by the chemo. So I had to go back in the hospital. I was in ICU for 3 days, and then 4 more days, get out for about 5 days, go back in the hospital to take chemo. And I did that for a whole year, going to take chemo, staying in the hospital, having to be away from my kids, which hurts me the most. If it wasn't for God, I think I would have lost my mind already. And so I'm still battling. I still have cancer, but I'm trusting God and believing Him for healing. But one blessing is that I don't have to go in the hospital anymore. I've had some other things. I had a 6-inch incision in my abdomen that they had to leave open for like 2 months, just wide open. It was like 3 inches deep, and I had a nurse had to come every day and pack it until it finally healed. Well, when that time I had to take two months off of chemo. In the process of that, my mom was sick. She just got sick at a few times. Me and her was in the hospital at the same time, and she just started going down. She started off with kidney failure from some medicine that she had took. Then it just went down, and just different things. And yeah, I'm kind of going through something right now because this is about the time last year, the last time that I was able to see her in person. I had brought her home here with me. She went to dialysis that day, and by the next day, I had to call the ambulance because it was to the point she couldn't stand up. She was like talking all out of her head. She couldn't do anything. She wouldn't eat, like nothing. And my auntie and my son was having to like just hold her up. They couldn't do anything. And the last time I seen her, she was on that couch. You know, the ambulance had to take her. I never seen her in person again. And she was in hospital for like 5 weeks. And my cousin would go every day. They wouldn't let me go to the hospital because of the COVID and my situation. So I would have, my cousin would go every day and call us on video so that we could talk to her. And I honestly thought, you know, that she was going to get better. Yeah. And then one day they called me. Matter of fact, they had let her out the hospital to go to like a nursing facility. She wasn't even there 24 hours. And they called me and said they was rushing her back to the ER. That she had a bleed out. But she didn't make it. She once time they got her there, she had bled, lost too much blood. And she passed. That was May 15th of last year. So it's rough right now for me.
And that was another question I was going to ask. Rest in peace to Nana. What was it like working in a soul food place with Nana every day?
Oh, gosh. Those are great memories. So I thank God for all good memories with my mama because, you know, me and her was like that. But, we had it out because she was the mama and because she taught us how to cook. Me and my daughter, because my daughter can cook her butt off too, but we couldn't tell her nothing. Yeah. Oh, we used to get into it. Yeah. She cussed us out. I told her, we ain't even getting paid. We working for free. You gonna cuss us out? I'm leaving. Or whatever. Like, y'all lazy. Y'all don't want to do shit. Da, 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 da. I said, Mama, cook it. I can cook, but this wasn't my dream. I'm supporting you because this is your dream. I don't give up. Like, okay, but it was good. It was great.
And who made the best Kool-Aid?
Shia.
No, I was going to say that's
my mom cannot make no Kool-Aid.
That's who told me she made it.
My mom cannot make no Kool-Aid because she's like, you know, she was getting older, so she was like, that's too much sugar. People don't need all that sugar. If they buy it, that's what they want. But
yeah. And that's another thing, I question. I could see in your face before I asked this already. It was like, how do you stay strong losing Nana? Because y'all was like sisters, best friends, daughter.
All that.
I don't think I ever seen a mother and daughter relationship any better than that.
When I tell you it's an everyday battle, my mom passed away in May. I didn't go to the cemetery after her funeral no more until January. Or probably beginning of February when I paid off her headstone. I haven't been back. It's hard for me. I got a big old picture sitting over there in the corner. I won't even turn it around because it's hard for me. Like, it's an everyday battle because when somebody is your best friend, your mama, your caretaker, your cook, like, my mama had us spoiled. She talked shit, mess, but she had us spoiled. If we said we wanted something, if she could make it happen, it was going to happen. I don't care how old we were. My kids, I wasn't with their daddy. That was their daddy. You know what I'm saying? Doctors, dentists, whatever they had going on at school, my mama was right on the side of me. That was my biggest cheerleader, y'all. Like, it's nothing like a mama. I tell anybody, if you got your mama, your daddy, cherish them. I don't have either. You know what I'm talking about.
Yep.
But me and my mama, the casino, I've been back to the casino. We used to go to the game room, the grocery store, the laundromat, everything we did together. And it's like a blessing and a curse. It's a blessing to be so close, but now that she's gone, it kills me. But I find my strength in my kids because my mama loved her grandkids like crazy. And then with my new grandbaby, I feel like that was a gift from God. It was just what I needed in the midst of all this, you know. And my daughter just have another baby, but that's just a blessing, you know. People can holler what they want, but it's all blessings to me because family is very important to me. And my mama, if she was here, we'd be fighting over them babies. But that's and her dog. I have Bella. Bella follows me everywhere I go, to the bathroom, outside, anywhere I go. I feel like Bella's part of my mama just being there with me, you know. But it gets real hard. I ain't gonna lie, it gets hard. Sometimes I want to break stuff. Yesterday I had a hard day. Saturday I want to throw and just feel like I want to punch a hole in the wall, like I want to hurt somebody. But I try to stay strong because I know my mama would want me to be strong and take care of myself with what I'm going through and take care of my kids. So that's how I find my strength. And the biggest part is when I cook. When she first died, I feel like I couldn't cook no more because I feel like nothing tastes like what she used to cook. But now I got it back. So when I cook, I get happy, especially when the food is like, I'm like, oh, I feel like my mama came down from heaven and cooked this food herself. And that brings me joy because that's what my mama loved to do. Anybody know my mama? Know she loved to cook and feed people. My grandma too. So that's how I'm making it.
Okay, now what advice would you give some of the young kids today? I always ask this question too, about how the young kids interact with their parents, whether you see it good or bad. What do you see nowadays out of the young kids and the parents?
A lot of kids don't have respect for their parents or for adults, period. But a lot of it is the parents' fault. Because if you're not taught it, they don't see it, how they gonna know? I would check my kids. I would pop them in their mouth, punch them in the throat if I have to. But if you start off young, teaching them, and then too, you gotta make other people respect you. Because if you got a man and he disrespecting you in front of your kids, or period, or you let other people disrespect you in front of your kids, then that make your kids feel like they can do it. Or if you disrespecting yourself, a lot of us had parents that was on drugs. At one point in time, a lot of people know my mama used to be on drugs. You know what I'm saying? But when I grew up and I became a parent, I know that people go through stuff. But I know at the end of the day, my mama made sure that we was okay. That my mama made some mistakes. But then it's like when you become a parent, then you know that nobody's perfect. But you gotta try. And you gotta show your kids as much respect as you want. But I tell anybody, if you got your parents, respect them. Because they're not always gonna be here. And 9 times out of 10, ain't nobody gonna treat you like your parents. Now, that's some sorry ass parents that do their kids wrong. But I'm talking about the ones that really love their kids and take care of them. They might make mistakes, but at the end of the day, ain't nobody gonna treat you like mom and daddy.
Oh, really? Now, one thing I did forget to ask about. You lost one of your kids' fathers.
Yes.
And could you give us his name and kind of like an insight on that story?
Leonard Jones. A lot of people knew him as Puda. We lost him January 1st, 2013. That was hard because even though we weren't together, we was like best friends. We still loved each other. And we had fun together. We still good friends, and he took care of all my kids. I loved all his kids. And it was nonsense, that he lost his life behind somebody trying to prove how hard they was, And I mean, he had parts in it too. But I tell anybody with all that thug life and all that tripping and wanting to pull guns and shit, think about your parents. Think about your kids that you left behind. When he passed away, my daughter was 14, my son was like 8, and I think my baby was like 6. And they all suffered. They was hurt so bad, especially my son. He was really, really hurt, because they was all that close. And even, his other kids, but thank God that they all stayed close since we've lost him. But it was hard for us, And then everybody want to be a gangster, but at the end of the day, what about your kids?
Yep.
You leaving your family hurt. You ain't feeling no pain because you gone. You know what I'm saying? But your kids is left here to hurt. People that love you. I hurt for a long time. I still miss him. My daughter still misses him. You know what I'm saying? My son, my kids, they miss him, his family. So all that gangster stuff trying to prove a point, prove that you love your family.
Sure, right. Now, what's some of the talents that we can look for that we know you probably don't share a lot or you don't show people? I know one is singing. So do you have any other talents people may not know about Miss Aiyisah?
I wrote a book. I'm in the process of trying to get it typed out and printed to sell. Since I was little, I've always liked to write. And I just feel like I'm getting older and I want to be an author for the rest of my life. I wish I had my own talk show with fashion and stuff. I have a YouTube page, Badass Cake Mix, I think is what it is. And I have a Facebook page. I love clothes, y'all. I'm a big girl, but I like to dress. I love hats. I love jewelry. I love clothes, period. My closet is so full, I can't fit nothing else in it. I wish I had my own clothing line because they be making some shit for these big girls. And I tell people just because it come in your size don't mean it's made for you. But I want to do that. I want to do a cookbook. I mean, it's a lot of stuff I want to do. But I feel like as long as you keep dreaming and keep pushing, then you can never fail. So I'm gonna keep pushing until I leave here to do something good.
Now this is something I can't really ask a lot of people, but I can ask you. Since I've met you, it is so important when you wake up, you just jump beautiful, and nobody gonna deny that. What's the importance to these women about getting up, beautifying yourself in the morning? A lot of people don't do that.
Because you gotta love yourself. I mean, like, I just can't see myself going out in public looking a hot mess because, like I said, if you look good, you feel good to me. I don't care what nobody else thinks. I've met men that tell me I'm too high maintenance, that I'm fake because I wear wigs, or I wear weave, or I wear makeup. But at the end of the day, y'all, men, they be gawking at these women on TV. Oh, that she bad. But half of them got fake booties, fake titties. They got contact lenses, eyelashes, wigs, baby hair, like fake jewelry, all that stuff. So if you can look at it on TV, why wouldn't you want your own woman or your friend or your friend to look good? You know what I'm saying? Like, don't be a hater. Get up, put your stuff on. I don't care if it comes from Walmart, Target, the dollar store. If it's clean, it ain't raggedy, get up and do you. Do you. Don't worry about what nobody else say. Do what makes you feel good. Because at the end of the day, when them people not there, that's what matters. And I like to look good.
Yes, ma'am. Now, something I've never asked one of my guests, but I know I can ask. See, it's so easy doing interviews with you. I ain't even looking at my paper no more. What advice would you give a young lady that feel like she just has to be in a relationship to be happy?
No. And I've learned that because I've been in some unhealthy relationships. I've been in some relationships with men that think they can have me and 50 other women. But guess what? If I'm not the only one, I don't want to be one at all. You have to love yourself and know it's okay to be by yourself. Because why be stuck in a relationship with somebody who don't love you or who don't have no respect for you when you can be wasting your time with that person and miss out on what God really has for you? And that's what I'm doing now. I'm single. Because I know my worth now as I've gotten older. If you can't respect me and you can't bring nothing to the table, I don't need you because I don't need you wasting my time. I'm not supposed to be stuck with nobody and I'm not happy. I have shit on my own. I got my own cars, my own house, my own furniture. So I don't really need a man for anything. But at the same time, you're not going to come in and lay up on me and disrespect me. I have a son. I need somebody who can be a good role model to him. You don't got to take care of him, but you're not going to come in and disrespect his household, his mama. You just have to love yourself and know that it's okay to be by yourself. Love you. If you don't love yourself, nobody else is not going to know how to love you because you're not going to be able to show them how to love you.
That's right. And another thing, just the way, when you're young, you think things have to be done fast. What advice can you give a youngster that don't know you just start out on your average job, you build up, you save up your bank accounts, you build up your credit. A lot of kids want it fast, just like we did when we was young.
Yep.
What advice would you give to kids that just going too fast right now?
It's okay to go fast, but in a good way, in an honest way, because we done all hustled, we done all did shit, got away with, what I'm saying? We've all done it. A lot of us, and a lot of people don't know because I don't put people in my business like that. But at the end of the day, it's so much stuff that you can do these days, opportunities that we didn't have when we was young. Selling, little girls selling eyelashes or makeup or keychains. It's so much stuff for you to do now, so much DIY project, and that shit bring good money.
Yeah.
Honest money. I see it like this. It's better to make your own money the right way because nobody can take it from you. Just like with your education. You get your education, nobody can go in your mind and take what you've learned, whether it's from going to college. These days, you can look up stuff on the internet, but as long as you feed yourself with knowledge and learn stuff, can't nobody take that from you. And the way they treating people these days, as far as like, they trying to give you 100 years for the smallest thing. And it's not worth all that because you don't get that time back. I've had people in my family go to jail, go to prison. They get out, their mom done passed away, their dad done passed away, their sister, their brother. You can't get that back. Kids done grew up. You know what I'm saying? You done missed your baby's first steps and all that. You can't get none of that back. So I say that slow down. If you're going to move fast, try to build a business. Trying to make money to secure a future. Quit just living for right now. You know what I'm saying? Try to press on and think about 20, 30 years down the line. And see, nobody really told me that. Even my family was always about hustle, getting it right at at the moment. That's how we was raised. But as I've gotten older, I'm trying to teach my kids up here to be smart. Try to save your money. Try to, go to school, get you even a a 2-year degree, something that you can build on. And everybody's not college bound. My oldest daughter wasn't really a college person, but she went to school and got her cosmetology license, and she's doing big things up there in Dallas, doing hair, makeup, modeling. You just got to have that drive. Yep. I figure if you want it and you keep pushing, eventually it's going to come.
Yep. Well, what can we expect next on the agenda for Cake Mix?
My book. I'm not going to give up on my book. I feel like the devil has really been trying to come for me as far as like with the computer and programs that I've had to order and this and that with my hands, like trying to type it. And I ordered this program and it was the wrong one. It's just like been, something. But when the devil knows that you got a gift, he knows that you blessed, he will try to throw everything your way to stop you. But I made up in my mind that I would not let him win. So guess what? When that book get ready to come out, I'm going to have the biggest, with COVID or whatever, we just have to wear our mask. I'm going to have a big old book release. And then it's going to be another book and another book. I ain't going to quit.
Already.
I'm not going to quit.
Would you like to shout out to anybody before we end part 1 of this Cake Mix series? And we will be coming back with part 2 of the Cake Mix series, y'all.
Shout out to my mama in heaven. I miss you. I appreciate you. And my aunties. I got the best aunties. They talk shit all day long.
Yeah, the Wiggy.
But that ain't Wiggy. That ain't Gail. That ain't Ann. My Aunt Janice. My Aunt Merlin. Even my Aunt Lulu in Schulenburg. They got my back. Like 100%. Shout out to my kids because nobody really sees what's going on when I'm here at home. Them days I come from chemo, when I'm really, really sick, when I'm throwing up, when I can't barely get out the bed. My 17-year-old, my 16-year-old, they live here in the house with me. They see that, but they take good care of their mama. So they deserve the world. Oh, they already spoiled. But I just feel like they deserve everything because my kids have been riding this with me from when they was little and then again now, but they've never given up. They never give up. So shout out to them.
And I thank you for coming on the show. And personally, from me to you, I love you. You're the strong,
I love you too.
very strong, beautiful black woman from our city.
Much.
I'm so proud to have met you. And we will be ending this segment. And tell us where they can find you on Facebook and on YouTube.
Yeah, YouTube. I think it's Badass Cake Mix. But you can look Aiyisah Mills, Aiyisah Mills. That's my Facebook and my YouTube. And I'm going to start posting more, so y'all just look out for me.
And that was Cake Mix, y'all.